Welcome to an aircraft hangar with something a bit different in. A fully kitted out Microsoft Flight Simulator Xbox setup. A rather interesting project I have been working on for the current company I work for. In today's video I'll be showing off this almost finished project to you all and sharing my thoughts on Microsoft Flight Simulator on the Xbox. If you've subscribed, then we can certainly get into this video. So hello everyone, I hope you are well. A few weeks ago I was asked by my CEO if I could build a flight sim setup for everyone at my workplace to use to just have a bit of fun with. Being an absolute nerd, an av geek and happy to flight sim on company time, I could not turn down that offer. Now I've been working for this company by the name of Saxon Air for about a year and a half now as a flight support officer at a tiny FBO in East Anglia, and aside from the 2-hour round commute every day and the occasional absolutely horrible 4 o'clock wake up, I continue to enjoy the hustle and bustle and variety of our somewhat small international airport. Now the sim in our hangar is based on the Xbox, and there's a few reasons for this. And we already had the Xbox. The Xbox is plug and play, so setup time is shorter than hauling around a PC, and this was sort of a proof of concept. Indeed, we do plan on getting a much more secure PC rig in the future. We also have an X-Plane based full cockpit flight sim for the Pipistrel Virus. But I do have to say that the Xbox Series X I used for this flight sim rig is performing exceptionally well, much better than when I had my own Xbox setup for the sim all the years back when it first came out on the Xbox. Now the whole sim setup, including the TV, the Xbox and all the peripherals, came in at a price of around £2,000. I was lucky enough that I didn't pay a single penny towards it, of course, but compared to a PC setup, that's probably around £1,000 cheaper than if you were to build this exact rig with a PC. It's set up with the somewhat expensive Next Level Racing Flight Stand Pro, has a Honeycomb XPC yoke, as well as the Bravo throttle quadrant. It also has a Velocity 1 flight stick and the fantastic Velocity 1 pedals. Now of course, most of the time at home I flight sim on the PC, and trust me, I would say the PC is definitely better if you want to go the whole hog with Flight Simulator 2020, but that's not to say the Xbox does not have its merit, and I have to say it does perform exceptionally well on there. Of course you can't change the graphics about like you can on PC, and of course you are limited with all the mods and freeware and payware out there. But aside from that, with all these peripherals, I have to say the experience does not feel all that dissimilar from PC. Now to go through the components one by one, we'll start off with the Next Level Racing Flight Stand Pro. This is one of the most expensive parts of this build, which is quite ironic, bearing in mind it's not electronic at all. Now I've had the Flight Seat Pro at home, you can check my video on that in the top right corner. Now the Flight Stand Pro is sort of the sibling to the Flight Seat Pro, and this is just a really ergonomic way to mount everything up for the flight simulator. It was relatively easy to build and certainly does the trick. It's 450 quid, which I do think is a bit steep, but yes, I guess it makes life a lot easier. Now the Honeycomb XPC yoke, again a bit of a con. This is a bit more expensive than the Honeycomb Alpha yoke, which was the first generation one, so the XPC comes in at a price of $349 US, which when I bought it over in the UK comes to around £270 off Amazon. This is the only version that works with Xbox, so my hands are a bit tied with this one. Sadly, I could not go for the original one, which was very cheap in the UK. You can pick it up for almost £100 now. Now with this Honeycomb yoke, to get it working with the Bravo throttle quadrant, which is my favourite bit of kit on this whole build, you need to have the Honeycomb hub, and that works by connecting your Bravo throttle quadrant into your Honeycomb hub, which you then plug into your Honeycomb yoke, which you then plug from your Honeycomb yoke into your Xbox. As easy as that. It is actually not that difficult, and that works all exceptionally well. You basically only need one USB input into the Xbox to have both the throttle quadrant and the yoke working. The XPC yoke has had some improvements from the initial alpha yoke. It is pretty much identical to the PC version, that being said, and it's still the same high quality you'd expect from Honeycomb. And then the last two bits I had was of course the Velocity 1 rudder pedals. Now you'd hope these would work out of the box with Microsoft Flight Simulator on the Xbox, but they don't, so a bit of a con here. You either need the Velocity 1 flight system, which is the yoke and throttle, or the Velocity 1 flight stick to get these pedals to work with Xbox. They sort of have to pass through them, as this diagram on the screen shows now. So this means if you do pick up the Velocity 1 rudder pedals by Turtle Beach and spend £250 on them like I did, you will at minimum need to spend another £100 on the Velocity 1 flight stick to get these pedals working, which I have to admit I did not know at the time. So when I tried to plug my pedals in and find they did not work at all with the Xbox, and then I found out I had to spend another £100, well not me, but you know what I mean, then I was slightly annoyed. But luckily the Velocity 1 flight stick is a really awesome bit of kit, and you can get it as cheap as £80 in some sales at the moment. And yeah, it all came to this rather nice flight sim rig. Now I was running it at an event recently for my company, and it was a really popular flight sim. It's always good fun to put the public on flight simulators and watch them try and land the planes. It looked like most of the time they'd want to go in an F-18 and go as fast as possible, or try and land a 787 in their back garden. Either way, I've got no complaints. So all in all, it's a pretty nice flight sim rig, and Xbox, as I said, it's actually pretty good on there. It really did surprise me. It also gives me an excuse to flight sim while I'm at work, so I really can't complain there. What would I say my least favourite part is? Well, of course, flight simming on Xbox, you are limited. I cannot go and download the best freeware, especially airports, if I need to get airports for my local area. So that's a limitation. I am bound to what's in the marketplace. But that being said, it's nice to just be able to turn the flight sim on and not be too worried about settings. I know that wherever I fly, the Xbox seems to have been pretty much perfectly optimised for any aircraft, whenever, wherever. Before I break out into a Shakira song, I have to say, if you just like to flight sim for fun, then I really cannot recommend Xbox enough. This whole experience of building this whole flight sim rig, indeed with somewhat expensive peripherals, has opened my eyes to what a decent platform Xbox is for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Sure, it's not perfect, and sure, down the line, this flight sim rig might be updated to a PC, or indeed, we might build a separate PC flight simulator rig, so watch this space. On that note guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video taking a look at my most recent flight simulator build. Be sure to like, comment and subscribe if you've enjoyed. I'll see you soon. Have a great day. Happy flying. Bye bye.